이렇게 전해드린 것처럼 야당인 새정치민주연합의 혁신위원회가 우여곡절 끝에 떴습니다. 선거마다 패배해온 야당이 이번엔 과연 환골탈태를 할 수 있을 것인가? 한국의 야당이 제 역할을 못하고 있다는 비판을 날리는 외국인이 있는데요. 다니엘 튜더 씨 기억하시는지요? 대동강 맥주가 우리 맥주보다 낫다고 해서 잠시 파장을 일으켰고 자신이 직접 맥주집을 차려서 또 화제가 됐던 전직 이코노미스트 기자입니다. 다니엘 튜더 씨, 이미 한국에 대한 소개서인 기적을 이룬 나라, 기쁨을 잃은 나라로 문제제기를 한번 하더니 이번에는 그보다 더 도발적인 익숙한 절망, 불편한 희망이란 책을 들고 나왔습니다. 핵심은 한국 정치의 좌파도 우파도 다 문제가 있다. 특히 야당이 제 역할을 제대로 하고 있느냐 하는 칼 같은 질문을 던지고 있습니다. 만나서 인터뷰했습니다. 다니엘 튜더 씨, 반갑습니다. 예. 자, 그 맥주집에 대해서 많이 들었는데 런던으로 돌아가셨다고 들었습니다. 왜 맥주집이 잘 안 됐습니까?
It's doing okay. Yeah, we're up to 9 bars now, but yeah, I'm doing a new thing actually in London. I left Korea about 7 months ago. I'm running a new business in London.
이번에 책을 아무튼 내고 오셨습니다. 제목이 익숙한 절망, 불편한 희망이라고 돼서 좀 와닿기도 하고 왜 그랬을까 알긴 알겠는데 좀 더 설명을 듣고 싶군요.
I think that regarding politics, people have become sort of accustomed to disappointment, or they've become accustomed to seeing, here's another scandal, there's like some corruption or whatever, and it's become, I think, probably reached a point where people just expect it now. It's just something that's just what they do, which is a shame. And I think that also itself makes the problem of that in itself is bad for democracy, because when people lose interest in politics, then that allows sort of the political class, if you like, to do whatever they want, really. And the word 희망 in there, it's for when they campaign in elections, they always use the word 희망. They always say like 소통 or 미래. These kind of words that I find very vague. They're very kind of positive words, but they're also very vague. And so when I see that, it makes me 불편.
그 어찌 보면 이 제목에 책 내용이 모두 담겨 있다고 봐도 될 것 같은 그런 느낌이 드는군요. 말씀을 듣고 보니까.
I want to make people think about politics, even if they hate it. And I know that as a foreigner saying these things, some people will think, who is this idiot or whatever. But I don't mind, and I want to do that. I want to make people argue about something.
그래서 던진 문제 제기 가운데 하나가 책 속에서 눈에 띄는 것이 한국엔 뭐 보수 또 진보라고 얘기하는데 그런 것 같지 않다. 좀 이상하다. 본래적 의미의 보수나 진보는 아닌 것 같다. 이렇게 얘기를 하셨습니다. 왜 그랬습니까?
I think that may sound strange to people because Korea is a very politically divided place, but I think that division is based on other things. I think it's a kind of tribalism almost. You have two groups who have been in opposition to each other for a long time, but I don't think it's actually about something about left-wing politics or right-wing politics. If we look at 새누리당, I think they have and have for a very long time had this fixation on numbers and GDP or something like that. But other than that, I don't think there's a specific philosophy. It's more just development and increasing those numbers. On the other side, I think there's just this kind of 반대, kind of just oppose whatever the other guys are doing mentality that probably comes from the 1980s and the 70s, the protest era, which was, I think, valuable and necessary at the time. But right now, I think the young people in their 20s or 30s, they don't really care about that old stuff anymore. They care more about, I think if you had a genuine progressive party now that was actually always trying to think about problems for, say, minorities or the less fortunate in society or things like inequality, I think that would be very valuable.
알겠습니다. 그러니까 요약하자면 이른바 이제 보수 정부는 계속해서 통계 지표에만 매달리고 이른바 개발 모델에만 매달린다는 얘기죠. 그리고 진보 정치 세력은 진보적 어떤 어젠다를 내놓는 것이 아니라 그냥 반대만 하고 있는 것이 아니냐라는 그런 인상을 받았다 그런 말씀으로 들리는데요. 뭐 그 얘기는 저희들이 충분히 알 수 있는 것이지만 또 지금 여당이든 야당이든 각자 이 얘기에 대해서는 반론이 다 있을 수 있습니다. 언론의 역할에 대해서는 어떻게 보십니까? 한국 언론은 어디로 가고 있는가 진단을 내린다면?
I think that well, when I was a journalist here, I had freedom that my Korean journalist friends did not have, and I was able to say more of what I wanted to say. I think that here there is a problem of you can be sued for saying something and you can go to prison. There's a problem of if you write for any newspaper, the companies who are placing the adverts can effectively control you. I think that for example, when I was writing for The Economist, we sometimes had threats from one Korean company. Oh, if you write this about us, then we will not place any more adverts. But actually, to us, that company was not a big part of our business, really. It was just one company among thousands placing adverts, so we don't care. But if you're a big Korean newspaper, maybe that company is 10% of your money. So you have to listen to them. And so I think that there's definitely a lack of press freedom here, both from businesses and from politics.
알겠습니다. 한국이 표면적으로만 민주주의 국가가 돼가는 것 같다라는 이건 굉장히 도발적인 얘기일 수도 있습니다.
Yeah, I mean that's a little provocative and perhaps a bit of an extreme statement, and I don't think that Korea is like a dictatorship or anything like that. But I think that we're now in a one-party state in Korea. I think that partly in a major way this is a fault of the opposition in not being competitive. I think that Korea will become like Japan in that you have one party that consistently rules for many years. I think that the government has a certain authoritarian attitude, to try and control what the media says, or to control what criticism is made of them. And I think if they're able to do that consistently, they will consistently be able to persuade the majority of the public who are not really interested in politics. We'll stay with them. And the opposition really has to be more positive and creative to overcome that kind of slant. But unfortunately, they don't tend to do that. I think they are just negative and rarely offer or rarely lead the agenda. Maybe they follow 경제민주화. That was not really their topic, but they followed it in the end, I think.
혹시 토니 블레어 지지자십니까?
Except the Iraq War, generally, yes.
예. 그래서 토니 블레어가 주창한 이른바 제3의 길을 우리도 적용해야 된다라고 생각하시는 겁니까?
Right, a little bit. I mean, maybe. Of course, it has to be done in a Korean way, and I don't think you can apply such things universally. But generally, I think if there was a Korean-style Tony Blair, somebody who could show, welfare, for example. I think one of the smart things that Tony Blair and people like him can do is they can show you that welfare is not just spending money on poor people. I'm myself partly a product of a British welfare state, so I received many years of free education or subsidized education. If I was ill, I could go to a free hospital. The government would give my parents a little bit of money every month just because I existed, I was their child. And that helped me become what I am. I think if I hadn't had those things, growing up in a pretty normal family, I don't think I would have been able to go to a good university and so on. And so I think someone like Tony Blair, he would characterize welfare as it's also an investment in people. And it's not just giving lazy people money. But I think in Korea, we still have this idea that 반값 등록금 or everything is free or it's half price or it sounds like you're just giving people something. And I think instead it should be, we will invest in you. And your job then is to, take advantage of that, and then probably you will make more money, you'll pay higher taxes, and eventually the state will receive that money back. So I think it's partly a framing issue as well.
여야 할 것 없이 한국 정치인들이 유권자들을 유아 다루듯이 한다라는 얘기를 썼습니다.
That's mainly a comment on the way that campaigns are run. So I think that it's maybe a stereotype. Even everyone talks about this now. To say that you go to a kind of market and you'll see politicians, they're eating like 국물 with old ladies, and they probably wouldn't do that today, but they might do it just before the election. And slogans, the 희망, 소통, 미래, all these kind of empty slogans that really have. I would go to all the websites of candidates when I was websites of members of parliament when I was researching this book, and I felt they all had the same slogans. They all had the same kind of. The sad thing is that I think if people rejected it, then the politicians would have to change.
아까 말씀하신 것을 다시 돌이켜 보면, 그러니까 지금 이 상태대로 계속 갈 수밖에 없지 않느냐라고 말씀하셨는데, 그 경우에는 예를 들면 여당을 지지하는 분들은 매우 반가워할 얘기고,
Maybe.
야당을 지지하는 분들은 매우 실망스럽게 느껴질 수도 있습니다. 야당이 어떻게 변해야 된다고 생각하십니까?
I worry it may be even too late for them. I mean, of course, I don't know, and as I say, I'm not an expert, but I think that the way they consistently manage to get it wrong when they campaign, they're consistently negative, and as an organization, they're too disorganized. I think there's a sort of minimum of organizational there's a minimum of organizational capability that you need to convince people. It has to be a little more professional and organized, structured. I think a party needs to be either a election-winning machine, or it needs to have a strong sort of ideological core. Otherwise, it has no real reason to exist. I think Henry is the first one, but I think that 새정연 probably lacks either of these. And when that happens, you end up with a one-party state. So then it becomes, I think, absolutely crucial to preserve democracy, that you have another party who can challenge.
요 한 가지 좀 어려운 질문입니다. 선거 때 여당인 새누리당은 진보적인 정책을 내놓습니다. 맞죠? 야당도 물론 내놓습니다. 근데 사람들은 야당이 내놓는 진보적인 정책보다는 여당이 내놓는 진보적인 정책에 더 표를 던집니다. 왜 그럴까요?
I think probably it goes back to this organizational stuff. I think that probably there are a lot of people who would want some degree of progressiveness, particularly among young people. But when they see the main opposition party, they think, well, but they're just not quite right, If they see, I mean, I think it's clever of as Henry to offer some progressive policies. Although I think once in government, they start to backtrack on them. But if you offer enough to get 51%, to convince 51%, then that's enough to win. And so if you just throw in a few progressive policies to pick off a few people from the center, then I think you can easily win against the opposition.
한국 맥주가 마음에 들지 않는다고 해서 한국에서 맥주 직접 만드셨습니다. 한국의 정치가 마음에 안 든다고 해서 한국에서 정치를 하실 수는 없습니다만 영국인이시기 때문에 그러나 가끔씩 이렇게 도발적 질문을 던져주시는 것은 매우 유효하다고 생각을 합니다. 고맙습니다 오늘.
고맙습니다. Thank you.